What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about my intake on health and fitness, and why do I want to, talk about fitness or give you guys advice on fitness. Now, before I get into that, I want you guys to know that everybody is different. Okay, everybody has different point of view on how to get in shape, how to lose weight, how to get bigger, stronger, etc., etc. So I want you to take away from this is just think of it as an opinion, and think of it as it's just an advice, and you don't have to take it. You know, I just wanted to, I just tell you what I think and what I know based on my trial and error or my experience or through my research or both. So, with that said, let's take a trip down memory lane on uh, how I started working out and how I started, you know, fitness and healthy and all that stuff. So when I was a kid, when I was small, I was really really big. Okay, I was really big and I was really pretty much I was obese. So I mean, you can see like me here, think of me here, and then my gut was literally like this. Okay, I was like a bowling ball. So um, what's funny is that some people think that it looked like I was pregnant at the time because my gut was like this and it would like stick out like this. So, which was funny. But anyway, so I didn't quite understand. I mean, when you're a kid, you don't know better, right? You don't really understand about health and fitness. You don't really understand about health, period. So, I never really cared for it. So up until I would say when I was in my teenage, give or take about 14 years old, I see my dad. My dad, he had gone through diabetic, right? So, my dad, he has struggled through weight, because he was like 300 plus pounds, and he was that, like I said, he was diabetic. So, so it started to motivate me. Like, wait a minute, okay, if this is the life that I really want to go through, do I really want to go to the same path that my dad had gone through? So for a while, while processing through that, I was watching my dad uh, trying to keep his weight down and working out as well. Because for a while he used to love lifting weights, and which one of the reasons why I got into weights because of him. So I saw him struggle, and I saw him. He had to when you're diet. Sometimes when you're diabetes, depending on your blood sugar, when you go to the doctor or whatever, they give you these needles, these big ass needles, okay, and they go and you have to stick it either your stomach or whatever. Most likely, I think it's your stomach. So he has to stick it to there, and he has to pinch his his fingers, all of them, and then he has to take it out, and he has to redo that every single day. Not only that, but he had to cut back the sugar and all the all the crappy foods. So I saw him going through that, and also I saw him working out, hustling, doing some cardio and doing all that stuff. So while he's doing that, he's actually motivating me to do what he's doing, if not better. Because he's trying to show me, like, look, I don't want you to go through what I went through, right? He used to push me into trying to working out, and he did it pretty good. Cause from that moment on, cause he used to be on my butt, he used to be on my ass, telling me, hey, you need to go and work out and eat right, you need to eat good, so you don't end up like I did, right? He don't want me to go follow through that path. So ever since then, I started working out. Now I didn't hit weights yet until probably a year or two later. You know, so for a while, I was just doing like push-ups. I was doing sit-ups. I was running around. You know, I was on in middle school. This was happening in middle school. In middle school, I used to go and I used to hold like 2 desks, and I used to try to do dips, all messed up and everything, thinking I was trying to work on my tricep when in reality I probably wasn't, or I didn't know how to do it. So, and not only that, but I used to play basketball. My grandfather, he used to coach me playing basketball, in some park there. I think it was Ultimus Park. It was further down in Miami. So, so after all that, I went from 196, which is almost 200 pounds, to 170 pounds. Big difference. And that was all through cardio, playing basketball, do a couple push-ups, sit-ups, going up and down the stairs, which is cardio. I don't care what anybody thinks. You try going up and down the stairs about 10, 20, 30 times, and you let me know how's you tell me how your heart is doing. It's only pumping. So anyway, so that was my first sight on health and fitness. Now, a year later, when I turned 15 years old, I was looking into one of the YouTubers, which you guys may know or may not know. They're the Hodge twins. Hodge twins. They motivate me into wanting to work out, wanting to lift weights. I wanted to learn that. But not only him, I didn't follow them as much yet until a couple years later. So, sorry, that's my grandmother talking over there, so don't worry about that. Sorry about that. So anyway, so not only did I follow them, which I didn't follow them as much until, like I said, a couple years later. I also followed through The Rock. The Rock was the main person at that time that I wanted to get what he had, but I wanted my own, I wanted what he had, but at the same time, like, I wanted it with my own body. Like, I wanted to earn it, At the time, I didn't understand how many years and how long it takes for you to get into that particular shape, and so for a while I was working about I was training give or take about 4 or 5 days a week, and while doing that, which was that time at 15, 16 years old, I was already going to high school. I was already in 9th grade. From that point on, I noticed, which was crazy in a way, like as soon as I was in shape, I'll post it on Instagram and show you what I used to look like or whatever, which it really ain't much, because there was a lot of things that I used to have, or there was a lot of mistakes that I made that I didn't know at the time that I knew now. So anyway, so there was some, when I got into high school, I noticed that people were starting to notice me different. Even though my friends that I used to know from middle school or elementary, they saw a little different. Like, I was starting to get different looks, but in a good way, because they see that I was healthy. Even girls. As soon as I saw the girls, like, I see some of the attractions that I could tell where they're interested on the looks. I'll get into those type of my days in high school. So, which that will be in the video. That will be in the next video where I talk about my days in high schools and what was my thoughts on that time and whatever. So anyway, so I was in shape, man. I think I was lifting weights and stuff. But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. Nobody taught me how to work out because nobody had the time to teach me how to work out. My dad was working all the time, and everybody was doing their own thing and stuff like that. So I had to figure it out on my own, and it wasn't easy. And luckily, I was fortunate that I didn't hurt myself, which, looking back on it, if I would give advice to my younger self, I would tell them to, if you have nobody to train you, research your own. You either go to Google or you go to YouTube. Look it up, you know. So I should have followed that path, but I didn't because I felt that I can create it on my own, or thinking like I knew what I was doing, which clearly I wasn't. Especially when I saw some, looking back on the pictures, I saw certain things that I was doing and how I looked, you know, which, you know, I'll get into that, as, do different videos. I'll get into that and I'll explain um, why I didn't like the way how I looked, and how I didn't, there were certain things I really didn't, you know, I didn't really, I didn't really notice about that, and I didn't really pay attention to it, nor I didn't learn about that. So, I get to that in the next video or so. But after a while, through high school, I was going through a lot of things outside of school. I was going through a lot of personal things, and I was stressed out, and I was going through a lot. So, you know, as a result, I started gaining weight. I gained a lot of weight. By the time I finished high school, I was about 265 pounds, which was almost 300 pounds, and I was 19 years old. So, at that point, I was out of shape. I was obese. I mean, I was worse than what I used to be, back in elementary or whatever. I was not healthy, man. I mean, but not only that, but I was going through a lot. So I didn't have the motivation to work out. I didn't have motivation to do anything. All I was doing was just eating crap, and that was it. I didn't do nothing. So, until at one point, which I think it was around, I graduated on June of 2017. I didn't wake up until October 2017. And that's where I jumped back into it. I watched the Hodgkins again. And that's where, shout out to the Hodgkins, by the way, where they motivate me I don't know what it is with the Hodgkins, but to me, the Hodgkins, although they were funny guys, I mean, they were really, really funny. They're two twin brothers who makes jokes and has different opinions based on politics or fitness or relationship advice or anything. I took away a lot. I learned a lot from the Hodge twins and Elliot Holtz. Elliot Holtz is another one. If you don't know who Elliot Holtz is, he also does training camp. He does a training camp, and he does he does a little bit of bodybuilding, but he does mostly training camp, meditations, and relationship advice, and similar to the Hodgman, but it's not more bodybuilding. It's not really bodybuilding. It's more powerlifters and getting bigger and stronger and all that stuff. So the majority of the time, I was following through the Hodge twins. Hodge twins. If it hadn't been the Hodge twins, I would have been having this motivation. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be doing YouTube right now. Talking about fitness. So that motivated me into wanting to get back in shape. And a couple years later, within a year, well, no, not a couple years. I would say about, give or take, a year later, almost a year later, I went from 265 to 230. Okay? Let me see how long this time. Okay, we're good. So I was taking the time to, see if, I know I might be taking a little bit too long, but I try to get the story straight so that way you guys can understand why it is that, I want to do, why is it that I want to, talk about fitness and fitness tips and whatever, and give you guys fitness tips. So I lost a lot. I lost about, give it take about 30 pounds. So a couple years later, I went on and off again. But then, as last year, especially before COVID, I was like, man, listen, You're gonna be 22 years old. You're gonna be 23 years old this year. Now, right now I'm 24. But this is before I was turning 23 last year. You're gonna be 23 this year. You're not getting any younger. Take care of your health now while you still can and while you're still young. So, that's where at that moment where I took it to the next level. So, so from that point on, I went back. Actually, I went to from 234 back up to almost around 260 pounds. Now in this day and now in this time now, I'm from 260 to 210 pounds, and I still continue to lose weight. Okay. Now, the point of this video is, listen, the reason why I want to talk about fitness, to give you guys fitness tips, or, to give my take through fitness and health, is because I don't want people to go through what I went through and what some of my family members went through. Okay. Everybody has, like I said, everybody has different take on how to get in shape, how to lose weight, how to get bigger, stronger, whatever. For me, I just tell you based on what I know through trial and error, and what works for me that may not work for you. So, so that's the main reason why, I decided to talk about fitness tips and whatever. Plus, not too many people really talk about fitness nowadays. Some people do, some people don't. Um, my take is, like I said, I have my opinion just like everybody else. So, you know, what I would, what I would tell people, basically is, before I give you an advice, you have to go see a doctor and find out, with my advice, you have to find out whether you can take it, where you can try it out, or you can't try it out based on health reasons or or any other reason. So that's it for this video. And if you guys have any questions about fitness or anything like that, or not even fitness, even relationship advice or anything in general, you can email me at what do you call it? I forgot. Wait, email me at I'll leave it on a comment down below so you can see it. I have to remember that line. I have to remember saying it so that way people can know. But I'll leave it down, comment down. I'll leave it on the description box so you guys can put any questions. If you guys need advice on something or whatever, I'll post my email address on the description box so you guys can check it out. And of course, if you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Alright? See you guys later.